In this video, I am going to show you how to work a little bit with something called callouts. We'll be making sort of enlarged views of each of these four structures, and we'll focus first on this first one. So a callout is basically an enlarged view of some particular part of the project. It could be a plan call out, could be a section call out, elevation call out. We'll be working on plan call outs. The current scale for this, this view right here, the level 1 view is where I am, is 1/16 of an inch equals a foot. That's pretty small, and it makes it really difficult to see very much detail. We'll be using these 16-inch plans to kind of serve as references to other drawings. So when you go to this drawing at 1/16 of an inch scale, you'll see some call outs to other drawings at larger scales. Revit doesn't really have, in my opinion, a very good way of kind of creating consistency with the graphics in terms of alignment. So we're going to kind of use a tool to sort of help with this process, but it's not going to be perfect, but it should give us a pretty nice, orderly looking set of drawings. What we're going to do is we're going to create a series of reference planes before we generate our call outs. So I'm on the architecture ribbon, and far over on the right is the reference plane tool. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to start drawing a few reference planes. So I clicked at the end of column line B, and I'm going to drag this a little further than the column line. That way I can select it, because I'm going to move it. I'm going to click on it, click on the move tool, click on a point, and then tell it to move it up 12 feet. Okay, now this reference line, or this reference plane, there's a difference between reference lines and the reference planes in Revit. I'm in level 1, I made this reference plane, and if I go to level 2, the same line will appear. If you zoom in a little closer, you'll notice that these lines are like a dark green color to sort of distinguish them from other lines. They won't print, they're just there as sort of tool for creating alignments. Now, typically, these reference planes are used when people are generating families. So I'm sort of using the tool for a different purpose than most people use them for, but I think it will help us to give a nice orderly set like I was talking about. Okay, I'll create another reference plane from column line D. And again, I'll bring it over a little further. Zoom into the end, I'll select that reference plane, and then I will move that one 12 feet down. Okay, so there we go. We have two horizontal ones. Now I'll create some reference lines that run vertically. So I'm going to click here, and here, and same process. Click on the reference plane, click on the move tool, and shift it over 12 feet. Oops, let me repeat that. Reference plane, click on it, move, and 12 feet will be my distance. Okay, so I'll make one more. And I'll kind of explain a little bit more about what we're doing here. So click on it, move, tool, pick a point, and the 12 feet. So we're going to make a call out window that is in this area right here. But I think maybe since we're going to need these for all of the four structures that we're working on, maybe we'll just go ahead and create some copies of these reference planes. So I've clicked on, I'm going to click on the first one here, and I'm going to hit the copy tool, and I'm going to snap from column line 4 to 7 to 10 to 13. Okay. And for the one that I have on the left of this first structure, I'll click on it, copy, and I will copy from 2 to 5 to 8 to 11, and the last one will be 14. So actually, I don't need this far one, so I'm going to delete that one. All right, so now I have these double lines that will become the call out references. All right, so how do you create a call out? Go to the view tab here. This is the call out button, and you're just going to have to kind of eyeball these. Again, they're not going to be perfect, but you will not notice, if you're careful here, you won't notice the difference in them. And it's better than not having the guidelines. So I'm going to come up here. Okay, so there's one call out. And perhaps later in this assignment, you can kind of come and add them for the other ones. But for now, let's just focus on this first structure. So when I click on the call out window, you can see I wasn't completely on that line, but close. Drag it over just a little bit. There, it's better. And now I'm going to click on this selection tool, and I'm going to try to place this roughly in the middle. Okay. I think what I want to do is make a copy of this one, so I'll create another reference plane. This one will be 6 feet up. Okay. So it's a little lower than centered. I'm going to click on this bubble. I'm going to try to get it as close as possible to the center just by eyeballing it. Okay, so this is level 2 is which one I'm on right now. You'll be adding them to level 1, level 3, and top of footing level. Let's go to level 1. Call out. Zoom in there a little closer. Click here. Like I showed you before, you can kind of shift them around a little bit. And I'm going to this reference right here. And click on call out once you've kind of located it there. And then you'll be able to drag the reference bubble. Again, I'm going to try to be consistent about the placement of this reference. Okay, let's go. That's 1. We did 2 already. 3 is next. Call out. And here we go. Get a little closer so I can be more precise. Okay, again, click on the bubble and drag it. I'm dragging it here because there's going to be a lot of other stuff in the drawing that happens in that default position. All right, top of footing. So let's see here. I'll go to view again, call out, and then zoom in. Get a little closer here. Oh, okay. Select it and grab that column bubble, or that call out bubble rather. This is a call out detail bubble. This is a column bubble up here versus this one. All right, right now there's no reference numbers in here, but as soon as these details get placed on a sheet, they will be then referenced to that sheet. Okay, next, what we'll do is we will start to revisit these various callouts that were created. So this is a new one, all right? So you can see it is now, well, you want to check this. Make sure that yours says 1/8 of an inch equals a foot. So remember, our level 1 is 1/16. So we're going to increase the scale a little bit to an 1/8 inch plan. Now, one thing we're also going to do is we're going to start renaming these, because you're going to have a lot of views and it's going to get very confusing. So this one I'm going to call Masonry, just for now, just to kind of keep things straight, and we'll probably be coming back and doing another pass at renaming. Oh, I think I just, one moment. I had accidentally deleted it. I don't want to delete it. I want to click on it. I want to right click. I want to rename. Okay. So Masonry. So we'll have one for a steel structure, we'll have a precast structure, and then we'll have a mass timber structure. These ones will all be for the masonry structure. And the last one is the top of footing, rename. Okay. So now what you can do is go to each of these new call outs, and I'm going to drag the column bubble down so it aligns with this clipping view. Pull all of them in. And I would also do it for the column lines. Drag them so they're in this window. They should all come together. Okay, the reference planes, you don't need to do anything with those. I'm going to go to level 2 and repeat the process. Put them all in. Free. And by the way, you'll notice those locks if you needed to. Maybe we will at some point. You can lock these so they don't move on you. The last one, top footing. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now these 4 views that we've created, we're going to put them on a sheet. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down in the project browser and down to where my sheets are, and I'm going to right click and add a new sheet using the same title block that we had previously, and click on OK. Right. So I have a new sheet, and let's see here. First thing I want to do before I bring in all of those views is to click on this tool called a guide grid. And it's going to create one and give it a default name of guide grid 1. That's fine. You can rename it if you like. And I'm going to click on OK. All right, now why do we have this? Again, this whole process that I want to kind of sort of set for the project is that things are located in the same place, and you have some reference lines so that when someone wants to go through the set, things would be easy to find, and from one sheet to the next, there's a kind of common relationship. So you can change the grid. Right now it's set to a spacing of 1 inch, and that should be fine for us for now. All right, so if I click on the other sheets, they don't have them, but you could assign the grids, and we may do that at a later time. Right, so how do we bring those views to the sheet? Similar to how we've done it before. You can just come over to those call outs and drag them in. Now, the order that we're going to do, we're going to have the top of, let's look and see what we have for our first sheet. All right, we started with top of footing, and the next one is level 1. Now the order of these really depends on your project. If I was able to fit all 4 plans on this sheet, I would probably start with the top of footing at the bottom, level 1 next, level 2, and then basically the roof plan. But since they don't fit on the sheet, I'm going to go with the more standard left to right, top to bottom ordering of things. So it kind of really depends on the size of the drawings that you're working on. So on the top left here is going to be the call out for the foundation level. That's at this point, it's referenced as top of footing, and we may change that. And I'll just go ahead and set it down. Okay, so there's the view. So we'll have top of footing, level 1, level 2, and then what will end up being the roof plan over here. Now, what's the purpose of this guide grid? We're going to move this so that it has the same relationship on all 4 of these sheets, 1 sheet for each structure. This one is the masonry sheet. So I'm going to now move. I'm going to click on the call out, and I'm going to click on the move tool. And I'm going to look at placing this a little bit higher. So it's a little tricky working with these grids, but basically what I want to do is set it so that the grids are, the intersection in the upper left is hitting one of these grids here. So again, it's a little bit fussy working with this, but I think you'll kind of get the hang of it. All right, so I'm going to move this over. Now, you'll see that it's picking up that grid line right there, and I was able to sort of snap to it, but it may be that you have to do this in 2 processes. So let's see if I bring this down here. Let's try one more time. Again, it'll take a little bit of fussing around with to get this to work right. I'm going to snap here, and I'm going to bring it down to the grid. Okay, so now 2B has its intersection on that grid. Okay. A couple other changes that we're going to be doing. We will bring the title closer because we're going to run out of space. So I'm going to click on that and drag it. I'm going to place the line so that it's hitting that intersection right here is what I'm talking about. I've got this line, and I've got the line of the title right with that orientation or relationship to that grid. Okay. All right, now the way I moved it was to just click on it and drag it. If I want to pull the end of this line back, I back out, I click, and I pull this back. The relationship I want is for it to roughly align with this clipping view that you see here. All right, let's bring in the second drawing, which will be actually level 1. So we already did top of footing. Let's drag level 1 masonry into here, and we'll go through the same process of moving it so that it has that relationship to the grid. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move from here, and I'm going to have the same relationship to this one. Okay. And I think I'm going to move this one over 1 grid. So I'll click here, move, and shift it over 1 inch, basically. Okay, so again, it's gonna align with these grid lines. All right, so B is aligning here, but I need to shift this column bubble 2 over. Oops. let's move it to the left. I think that would be a better relationship. Move. Okay, there's 2B there, and you can count the number of inches that I have from the title block edge over on the right. Okay, again, I'm going to move the title here so it has a similar relationship, and click this and place it right there. Okay, and again, click on the view, and you see that little circle here, drag it over so it aligns with the edge of the clipping plane. All right, let's bring in the next one. That will be level 2 masonry. Set it down. Okay, so I may have to move the top ones up a little bit. Move up here, and I'm going to slide it over to align with this guideline. And let's see, can we get it to fit in here? Move. You may think, you know, oh, this is really crowded with all these views, but I'll tell you, it's really nice to see a set of drawings that makes good use of the space. It's, you know, a kind of waste of paper, and it makes it more cumbersome to navigate a set of drawings when you have too many sheets. All right, so I think I'm going to have to move things up a little bit more to fit them all on here. Just keep in mind, this is a little bit part of the process, but I will go ahead and shift well here. Shift this up so it has the same relationship. Yeah, it is a little close to the bottom. Let's get the last view in place, and then we'll look at the whole thing and whether everything shouldn't just move a little bit. There we go. Level 3 masonry. Place it in there. Looks like for some reason it already has the correct relationship for B. Column B, that is. And let's bring this in. Nope, I don't want to bring the whole, I don't want to drag the whole thing. I just want to drag the title. So click on it and push it over there. That is the relationship that I want. Okay, so this gives us an opportunity to look and see what do we need to shift around a little bit. So you can see I've got quite a bit of space up here above the column bubbles, but my titles are a little squished down there. So what we can do now is so what we can do is to move all of them at the same time, click on one, hold down Control, click on the next one, the next one, and the next one. Go to the Move tool, snap to the end point of one of these column lines and bring it up so that's perpendicular. So now we have a little bit more consistency between the top here and what's left over at the bottom. Then you can go ahead and print the sheet. Since we have a whole bunch of sheets now, it might be kind of confusing. So I'm going to rename this one The number is probably going to change, so let's just leave that as it is, but let's just call this masonry structure floor plans. And you should see that it's updated in the title block.